Well, hello there, Dippers, and welcome back to episode 54 of the Knuckle Sammich podcast, the official MMA podcast of Sauce on the Side. As always, Dippers, I'm your host, Drake, joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Thomas R. Shackelford.
We didn't know it yet, but with watching Greg Hardy's last fight, we actually witnessed a man that is greater than Bo Jackson and is what Michael Jordan could have been, per his own words.
And our producer, Mr. Leighton Pip Shaventone.
What's up with Thomas in these intros now?
Exactly.
I've been
54. It took him 54 episodes, but he's finally getting more intros than howdy, how you doing, and how's it going? Dippers, today we will break down the fight card that we got to see last weekend, highlighted by Jack Hermanson putting on an absolute clinic against Jacare. We will discuss the ESPN Plus 8 card this weekend, headlined by one of my favorite fighters, Cowboy Cerrone, and Raging Al Aquenta. So, Dippers, before we get to any of this, Leighton C., you know what to do. Welcome to the Knuckle Sammich podcast with Thomas R. Shackelford, a Sauce on the Side production. All right, so Mr. Shackelford, what's going on? What's coming up with all these new intros now? You're actually starting to get the hang of it.
Just trying to make it more spicy.
More spicy?
More spicy?
Spice it up a little bit.
Spicier.
So is Greg Hardy the greatest athlete of all time? Is that what we're getting at?
Well, that's what he said. He said that.
He said he was the greatest athlete of all time?
He said that he is doing it better than Bo Jackson did, because Bo Jackson went from football to baseball, correct?
Oh, yeah.
And I think maybe Deion's name was mentioned, and he's what Michael Jordan could have been when he went to baseball.
So
Wow.
Jordan could have been an elite MMA fighter, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know what's...
I
what
think
he said.
He wasn't comparing it to fighting. He's comparing it in their respective sports. So, apparently when you beat a guy that even the boss basically says looks like a fix, it automatically makes you better than
Michael Jordan, Deion Sanders,
and
Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
So Greg Hardy, maybe the greatest athlete of all time. I didn't even get to hear his post-fight interview because as soon as that fight was over, I was like, yeah, I'll watch the replay of Jacare tomorrow. I said, I'm going to bed on that one.
I think Greg Hardy wasn't even that good of a football. I mean, he was a Pro Bowler once, but he was only in the league for like 3 years.
Yeah, no, he was I mean, had he not gotten in his own way, he was pretty good, but
he did.
He did.
Yeah,
Okay,
hold.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he had, say he was in the league for a legitimate 3 seasons, right?
I think it was more than that because he got Jerry Jones gave him another shot, and then he tried to fight Des Bryant on the sidelines, and they figured out that was a bad idea.
God, he would kill Des Bryant. Do you think he would be any NFL player?
No.
I mean, he'd be a professional fighter. He's done
when
this
I
for
watch
years.
him, he is not. I gotta think. Yeah, he's a big athletic guy, but I gotta think if he's throwing hands with other big athletic guys, that they're got just as good a chance of knocking him out. I'll tell you what. You give me Olin Kreutz.
6 years.
I will pick Olin Kreutz right now. However old and out of shape he is, to beat up Greg Hardy.
Dude, have you seen? Okay, Olin Kreutz. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. Olin Kreutz, dude, he drafted one of the Bears players this year. Like, he got to go on stage, do the whole draft
Did he
thing.
really?
Came out rocking a Bears Hawaiian t-shirt.
Is he looking good?
Oh yeah, he looks great.
He actually
looks like he's probably lost about 200 pounds.
So, kind of weird story. My jiu-jitsu instructor has his best friend. It lives up in a suburb of Chicago and teaches up there. Olin Kreutz actually came to him for jiu-jitsu lessons. He didn't want to do any. He didn't really want to do anything serious. He didn't want to take like the public classes. He just paid for like private lessons for a little while. So that's kind of my Olin Kreutz story.
There's Olin Kreutz now.
Damn, dude, he's looking pretty good.
He's looking pretty trim. I think he could
lose weight.
I think he could take Greg
He
Hardy.
went on like that Michael Strahan diet. Just like once you get out of the league, you drop like 80 pounds.
Yeah, that's not a diet. That's just not force feeding yourself anymore.
Is Greg Hardy heavyweight?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll be champion?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
No? But it's actually a great segue to my cool thing for this
All
week.
right, let's do it.
Okay, so Buck Lesnar retired.
Oh, you stole one of my things, but yeah, go ahead.
In like the most bullshit way possible.
So,
I have some theories on it, but go ahead.
so in honor of Brock Lesnar,
Steroids.
so in honor of Brock Lesnar, went to Sporkle. I love Sporkle. And do you think you can name every UFC heavyweight champion in 4 minutes?
I don't know if I can do it in 4 minutes. I might be able to name them.
Okay, well, I did it earlier. I got 19%. The average is 47.
So you start.
How many of
from
them
the
are there?
beginning.
Everyone. So it basically every time there was a fight, there's a date next to it, and then the winner. So there's not as many as it looks, but there's like
Would Hoist Gracie be technically
30
a
maybe?
heavyweight champion?
I guess we got to establish.
no, 1997 UFC 12
was
is the
that
first
with
fight.
Dan Severn?
I don't know. I gotta type it in.
Okay. Or no, I guess I could. So go ahead.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
All right. Quick, live in cinco, and you guys both only for me too. Tres, dos, go.
Dan Severn.
Spell it.
God damn! Come on.
It's Dan Severn.
Severn.
Severen.
Ian.
I don't.
No.
Okay, Boss Rutan. I know Boss was.
R-U-T
T-E-N.
Ian. No.
B-A-S space R-U-T-T-E-N.
I know he was a champ.
Okay, we got one. Cool.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
How'd you spell boss? B-O-S-S?
I didn't spell bias.
then-
I put down Wooten.
Maurice Smith.
Smith. Yeah, very common last name. It's a good guess.
Mark Coleman.
Okay. He was the first one.
Randy Couture.
Man, you're flying through this.
Okay.
Josh Barnett.
Okay.
Then would have been Rico Rodriguez.
This is unbelievable.
Okay.
Tim Sylvia.
Are you doing these in order?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Kind
He
of.
skipped 2 fights, but
Okay, just keep,
but before that he
keep
was
on the
though.
roll. Keep on the roll.
Yeah.
Andre Arlovsky.
Andrei Arlovsky.
Oh fuck! I spelled that one. Jake, look it up.
A-R-L-O Arlovsky. A-R-L-O-S-V-K-I.
Okay, Jake, look it up. You keep going.
Oh, Dan Severn. So there was
I said that.
S-E-V-E-R-N. I just looked up how to spell the name.
S-E-V.
The thing about him is
E-R-N.
No.
he won the tournaments, but I don't think he actually ever had
Okay,
the belt.
2.5 minutes left.
Okay, so we got Arlovsky
Daniel Cormier.
again. Hold on. No, I want to go from bottom to top.
Okay, yeah, hurry up.
Tim Sylvia again? Does that count?
He's already on there. He got stripped of it.
So after Arlovsky and Sylvia, you got Randy Couture and Brock Lesnar,
Okay.
Frank Mir, Nogueira. Spell Nogueira Drake. His brother's actually on this card. Did you get it?
No.
Okay, we'll skip Nogueira and go to
Nogueira. N-O-G-U-E-I-R-A.
Okay.
then you got Cormier,
Stipe.
Miocic.
S-T-I-P-E. That's how you spell Stipe.
Spell his last name.
Miocic.
Okay.
I feel like we're missing someone.
Who was the champ right before Stipe? Oh,
Junior Dos
Verdum.
Santos. Oh, yeah.
Verdum.
Fabricio
Dos
Verdum.
Santos, Verdum,
Verdum is spelled W-E-R-D-U-M.
W-E-R-D-U-M. Okay. Yeah, 1 minute left.
Cain Velasquez.
Oh,
Spell
that's
it.
a good one.
Yeah.
Velasquez. V-A-L-A-S-Q-U-E-Z. That might be it.
No.
That's
What
not
was
all
it?
of
Did we
them?
get Velasquez?
Yeah, I'm looking for how to spell it.
I thought I spelled it right.
It's V-E. Okay, you're missing, there's one, Brock Lesnar, the into one between his two.
Mir.
No, it's not me.
Was not Frank
It's
Mir?
Brock Lesnar into fight at 111, then he won it back. 15 seconds. And then you missed.
Wasn't Shane Carwin, was it?
No.
No? Man, I'm at a standstill with that.
then there's one after Frank Mir, and before Ten Sylvia. And then in between Boss Root and Couture.
Did you get?
Oh, yeah, time. Okay.
How many we get?
Who are we missing?
What was the percentage?
Dude,
you went crazy.
So we had to figure out how to spell Ovlosky. So,
well, that was clearly one of them.
yeah, I know. So he's on here. He's 3. So, you got like 89%.
89%.
You missed Shane Carwin in between Brock Lesnar
I said Shane Carwin.
and
did,
Kevin
right.
Randleman.
So
Randleman.
the only one we missed was Kevin Randleman.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
said Shane Carwin.
That's not bad, and I feel bad. R.I.P. to the monster.
Dude, he was the man.
Yeah. So Rutan actually won it from the monster, I think. No, the monster must have won.
So how many did we get right? We got all of them
The
except for
monster beat
Randleman.
Maurice Smith
Yeah.
for it.
So,
we got them all. Almost got them all.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Except for Kevin Randleman.
yeah,
I don't know how we missed that, dude, because
uh,
Kevin Randleman was one of my
Well,
favorites.
I plowed him. I plowed him through my head. But when Boss Rutan won it, he actually beat Randleman for the title. Super controversial. He won it off his back, basically just slapping Randleman in on the head.
Dude, Randleman, if he got you down, he was money.
Okay,
I remember the skyscraper knees. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah,
The skyscraper
right,
knees
yeah.
were-
you guys are in the
Crazy.
93rd percentile.
So we did good.
If we that was
53,000 place.
That's pretty good.
so. Wait a second. That was including us only missing Randleman.
Yeah,
yeah.
because only 0.2% got them all.
Only 0.2%. Wow,
Damn, we were almost there.
we almost had it.
I think that means that I've watched too many fights, and
Especially that you were trying to go linear.
I almost did it. I messed up, man. I really wish I wouldn't have messed up Randleman. That's gonna eat me. That's gonna eat me a little bit. And I forgot Carwin was an interim champ. I forgot
Yeah.
all about that.
Yeah, because Brock Lesnar didn't have that many wins, and I was
guess-
running them through my head, and I'm like, that has to be it.
I totally forgot Carwin was the interim champ. That one I legitimately, I probably wouldn't have guessed that, because I just remember how Lesnar beating Carwin. I guess Carwin, when he beat Mir, that must have been for the yeah, because Mir had the interim title.
And then Shane
Carwin
Carwin got it.
it. Yeah. That's how it went down. We did pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And next time we have no fights to talk about, we can do that every champion ever. It's 90 in 20 minutes.
90 in 20 minutes.
Oh man, that's some serious
That'd be
work.
tough.
That's some work right there. That'll be 20 minutes of our show. We'll just-
Yeah, no shit.
People will stop listening like 5 minutes in. They're like, this is
That was a good
stupid.
quiz. That was good,
Yeah,
because
that
how
was
many
good.
how many people were on there?
53,000.
No, how many people? Like,
They're probably 30.
Wow.
That's
Fights.
really, if you think about all the weight classes and all the different chances, that 30 doesn't seem like a
no,
whole
30's
lot.
just a drop in the belt. I would say, I mean, other than those weight classes like flyweight only has like 2, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, Demetrius Johnson and Cejudo.
We'll get that one right.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, that was nice.
I guess to bring it back to the original question, no, Greg Hardy will never be champion.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Greg Hardy.
Hey guys, sky's the limit.
No.
Greg Hardy couldn't beat a stiff fish in there, dude. Like, I don't know. That was terrible. Greg Hardy's fight was probably the worst fight I've ever seen.
We can kind of leave it at this. We picked the guy he was fighting because he was a what did he say?
A master
He was
of
a
sport.
master of sport at freestyle wrestling. Me and Drake had a little guy on our wrestling team several years back. We won't name his name, but he shot a double leg just like that guy. It's what you call a two-gunner. It's where you put your head down and your arms like you draw 2 guns and stick your arms straight out. That's how this guy shot. Except this guy was missing one crucial piece to our kid's double leg. Can you guess what it is?
What?
The headbutt to the face. Our little guy would just put his head down, arms straight out, headbutt the other guy in the face, and then the kid would cry and our guy would take him down.
Instead, this guy just rolled over and cried.
This guy just rolled over and
We'll
cried.
start off with that fight. Greg Hardy knocks out Dimitrius Smolvikov, probably the worst fighter I've ever seen in the UFC.
And that's saying a lot. CM Punk. Think about that.
Dude, CM Punk beat this guy to
He
a pulp.
showed more skills than this guy did.
Showed more heart, for sure. I've never seen a guy flounder.
CM Punk?
Dude, did you not watch this fight?
No.
Google this.
You watch it while we're
Yes,
Okay.
we'll break it
breaking
down.
down the card.
Greg Hardy versus Dimitrius Smolvikov. You'll
That
find it.
guy, he didn't want to be there. I don't know if Greg Hardy just scared him. He did not. I mean, I've said it, like, I fought 2 times in kickboxing. One time, the guy basically had to kill me to get me out of there. The second time, I remembered how that first guy killed me, and I froze up, took a couple punches, and just went down to a knee, and I was just done. I didn't want to be there.
There's no way you look like this guy, though.
I put up a better fight than this guy, and I was an 0-1 amateur guy fighting in a smoky bar in St. Louis. This guy was 9-2, master of sport at whatever. Dana White even said it. He said, I want to see the 9 guys that guy beat. He basically said everything. I mean, he even said, hey, that we don't make fake fights or anything, but I could see how the fans and some of the media could think that would be a...
Rigged.
And then he stopped. He didn't
even
finish
say
his sentence. And then he just said, I'd like to see the 9 guys that guy beat.
Dude, okay, honest to God, give me your honest answer. Would Henry Cejudo beat that guy?
It's a good chance. I mean,
honestly think he could.
That guy...
What was the first thing I called you whenever that fight was over? I called you, I said, Shackelford, if this guy is a master of sport in Greco-Roman wrestling, I'm a master of sport, or I deserve a black belt in every single martial arts there is.
It was bad, man. I mean, he did not... I think the Dominic Cruz on the broadcast even said, he's like, he just doesn't want to be in there. And we've seen that before. Caleb Starnes fought Nate Quarry back in the day, and I remember he legitimately backpedaled the whole time and never engaged. They should have just ended it, but they just let it go on. He never fought again either.
Yeah, so... I'm sorry, go ahead. Finish.
Go ahead. What I'm just saying is...
Are you watching the fight?
So, I only watch highlights. So I watch 3 highlight videos now, and no, this guy really... he's covering a hole really hard here to see he punched him in the head.
Yeah.
Like, Greg Hardy reached for him. He just ducked down and get fetal position and just got punched for a second.
He said, nope, I'm done.
Dude,
and what's crazy is the other thing was I saw an interview with Artie where he was saying he actually... Those 2 trained at American Top Team at the same time, but he didn't really get to train with that guy because that guy was in the, advanced class. And he even said he was in the Sharks class, and I was still in the Minnows class. So when they were there training together...
that guy is nowhere near a shark.
I don't know what... that makes me think I could fly down to Coconut Creek right now and jump into the pro class. That makes American Top Team sound horrible.
Yes. That was bad, dude.
Crazy. What's next for Greg Hardy?
Title fight.
I mean...
I'd rather see him fight Cormier than that Velasquez, dude.
Well, Kane's out. I mean,
Kane's done.
I don't know what they're going to do
Black Beast, dude. Black Beast
I would like to see the Black Beast fight him. I mean, the Black Beast called him out. He's like, I guess the Black Beast dealt with some domestic violence growing up, and he has a particular high
set of
disdain
skills
for wife beaters, as he calls them, and he wants some of the action. So.
That's the fight to make. I mean, yeah, dude. If Greg Hardy's your money child, throw him out there with the Black Beast. If he gets beat, which he will, Black Beast is the kind of guy that you can lose to and really not affect your status a whole lot.
Yeah. It's one of those things. I do understand he was going to make it to the UFC faster than most people because of his athleticism and stuff. But, I mean, really now that he's here, basically I feel like he'll only be around as long as they want to give him Chubbs to fight. You know? As soon as they give him... a tough dude. As soon as they give him a Tai Tuivasa or even Tai Tuivasa's not ranked as high as Derek Lewis, and I think that's probably an even worse fight for him.
No.
Because at least Derek Lewis can be there to hit sometimes. Tuivasa's a little more
elusive, and he'll slug it
out. Arlovsky's there. He just picked up another win. But yeah, I think they'll probably give him a couple more quote-unquote cans, maybe 1 or 2 more fights, but eventually they're putting him on the co-main event. Yeah. There was 5 fights on that card that could have been co-main event.
I agree.
So,
dude, and the thing is, Greg Hardy's name is only going to be there until he gets beat.
Exactly. And that's an amazing point.
You have to strike when the iron's hot. You have to let him fight a guy like Derek Lewis. That way you can promote it so you can get the full benefit of the name. Because if you have Greg Hardy fight a guy who's not even ranked, which there are plenty of guys on the roster, almost all the guys on the roster that are not even ranked that can beat him, he's going to lose the name value. So you take the namesake now, while it's hot, you put it against a Derek Lewis that everybody tunes in, not to just see fight, but to also see what is he going to say in the press conference? What's he going to say post-fight? Is he going to take his shorts off? And what's he going to do next? You have to do that. That way you can have the name that's there, plus Derek Lewis, another guy who can sell the fight. Yeah. Because Greg Hardy's going to quit selling fights if you keep giving him schmucks.
Well, and one thing, if you were a competitor, I know when I wrestled, if a guy beat me, if I didn't think it didn't matter if I thought he could beat me again or not. I wanted to wrestle that guy again. I can remember my senior year, the beginning of the season, a guy kind of jumped on me early, beat me by a couple points, but then as the season progressed, I just shot I don't know why, I just started picking it up real quick. That kid, their team, they were going to try and beat us, but that kid would never bump up from the weight class down to wrestle me again. So I had to smush his teammate 5 times throughout the season. They knew going into this duel that they might have a chance to make it close, but that kid didn't want none. He didn't bump back up because that's what a competitor does. So Greg Hardy's last fight, he lost by disqualification in a fight that he basically won maybe the first 2 minutes and then started losing. So if you're a much better competitor than I was, if you had a guy that you lost to some goofy rule in a wrestling match, would you want that match right?
Oh,
if
absolutely.
you wrestled him in a duel 2 weeks later, would you want to wrestle that guy?
Yeah, that's what Greg Hardy
don't hear
done.
Greg Hardy saying he wants that guy again, and
No.
you don't see Dana White signing that fight again. You know why? Because that dude's probably going to beat him, and I do not know the guy's name. The guy won the fight. The guy was winning the fight legitimately before Greg Hardy threw that illegal knee. I don't know his name. Greg Hardy's not saying his name. Dana White's not saying his name. But I know personally, as a high school athlete 15 years ago, I still remember the dude's names. I remember all 11 guys who beat me in a wrestling match my senior year.
Yeah.
I'm damn near geriatric age. I'll remember those bastards till the day I die. But Greg Hardy don't care.
No, Greg Hardy.
He's just oh no, I don't know that guy.
It was a disqualification. No, that guy was probably going to beat you.
A guy that's really wanting to be the champ and really thinks he's Michael Jordan and Bo Jackson and all this, I would not have taken a fight that wasn't that guy.
No, I agree 100% with that. But here we are again. We're going to see him fight some schmuck that we don't know. Some guy who was on the UFC roster 6 years ago.
We just know to bet him now. No matter what. Until he fights a Derek Lewis or somebody, you just bet him. We just have to pick him because they're not going to give him anybody worth of shit.
No. What if they give him another Master of Sport in wrestling?
Well, then we automatically know to put about 400 on Hardy.
That's no shit. That was the biggest joke I'd ever seen in my life, dude. Now, Master of Sport has officially lost its luster for me. I will never pick a guy who's another Master of Sport.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing to be called, probably.
Yeah, Master of Sport.
We picked him because that was really the only reason we picked him.
A Master of Sport just got whooped by a bedroom brawler. Really, that's all it is.
Yeah, pathetic.
Absolutely bad. But to say this, on the main card, you did say that this would be a night that the dogs would howl. You had actually picked 4 underdogs to win the fights this weekend. 3 underdogs actually won. So I'm not going to say it was a bad night of picking. You still picked 2 underdog wins. But like we said, the Greg Hardy fight was a fix.
The ones that I'm kind of... The Greg Hardy I'm scratching. So that left us with 2 losses, which was really this one. It was closer. The Glover and the Eon fight.
Yes, we'll go to that one now. Glover Teixeira picks up a second round submission over Eon Kudalaba. What did you think about that fight? Kudalaba jumped on him early, and I thought was going to win the fight.
Yeah, and I think
but
that
I
was
told
just
you we don't bet against Glover.
I know you did. I think the experience factor. It's one of those we talked about the fights. This whole fight card, aside from Greg Hardy, It was maybe one of the most beautiful ones to watch. Every fighter that won did 1,000,000% exactly the things they needed to do to win. And in Glover's case, I mean, I love this fight card so much. I watched the entire card over. I watched it twice.
They mean the Avengers.
Yes, it's like the Avengers, which don't spoil it for me. I haven't seen it yet. But and Glover, he talked about beforehand, I have to weather the storm and just, use my veteran abilities to just find a way to win. I didn't think he was going to be able to do that because his chin's been a little suspect. This dude was a good Greco-Roman wrestler. And the fights that I saw where he did.
This was the card that Greco-Roman wrestlers came to die.
Well, to be fair, I think that guy was a master of sport in freestyle. I don't want to throw Greco.
Oh, so master of sport's also dead dust.
I don't want to throw Greco under the bus 1,000,000% because Hardy's guy was a freestyle guy. I think this guy was a Greco guy.
No, I think they were both Greco.
Oh, were they? Well, okay. Well, Greco goes down hard on this one. It goes down real hard. But,
believe it or not, these guys have legs.
Yeah, Cutelaba, I think he knocked Glover down once and rocked him 2 other times in the first, and he just didn't finish him off. And he was being dirty as shit. He almost kneed Glover in the face like 3 times on the ground.
Yeah,
Glover's like looking at the ref. So how the fight ending combo or whatever was actually that guy came in to do a tie clinch, and Glover. He's pretty good at it's kind of like an upper body push, and that guy fell down, and Glover knew that was his chance. Got on top of the dude, passed his guard like it was butter. It was a hot knife through butter. Got on him, and that dude. When I was watching it, I knew that guy stood no chance. Like
he was done.
Once Glover passes your guard, mounts you, it's just over. There's nobody getting up from that. So. Cutelaba did look good. He did do what I thought he was going to do, but man, there in the second, Glover just, like I said, Glover had one good moment in the fight, and he absolutely capitalized on it and won.
See, Cutelaba does too much cheesy shit to be good, in my opinion. Like, he dresses up like the Hulk, and then this time he decides not to paint himself green, and instead just brings a picture of Glover Teixeira to the weigh-in to rip it up. Yeah. It's like, dude, you can't get much more cheesy than this.
When you were texting me, how do you feel? And I said, well, the only one I'm feeling kind of cautious about was at the weigh-ins. Glover was all smiling and happy and went to shake his hand, and that guy doesn't ever shake hands. And he usually gets real hard face-to-face with a guy. And when he didn't shake Glover's hand, you'll have to watch it. I'm not shitting you. Glover, I can't explain it. It was like he just whispered to his ear, I slept with your mom last night. Like, Glover just dropped his hand and gave him this look, and I was like, oh no. Like, I've never seen Glover look like that. No. So, bad move. Don't piss Glover Teixeira off.
No.
Bad move.
But I think with Cutelaba, I think he did that weird thing where he looked like he didn't want to sell out for the finish after he knocked him down, but yet he still kind of did, like in a half-assed effort, and still wore himself down without throwing the big bombs to put him down. But with Glover here, whenever you're watching that fight, you said it. Cutelaba did a lot of dirty stuff, and there was even one time in the fight where Glover hit him and actually rocked him, and instead of trying to dive on the guy, the dude poked him in the eye so bad that Glover just rocks him, looks at the ref, starts screaming at him about the eye poke, and then just gets back to his business.
Yeah, and even the fight ending sequence when Glover pushed him, that dude kicked Glover in the nuts. Like his leg, that doesn't happen by accident, but his one leg went straight up and hit Glover right in the cup. And,
I'm pretty sure this dude trains with Draymond Green.
He's the Draymond. Yeah, that is the Draymond. Man, that playoffs will go down in infamy right there. The nut kick playoffs.
The nut kick playoffs.
That's a hell of a playoff, dude. We need to get the horse in there just to be a fighting competitor.
I never heard it called that before.
So we'll go ahead and get to Corey Sandhagen. You talked about guys who came in with a specific strategy, executed perfectly. I think it started off right there with Sandhagen. Picks up a 3-round split decision over John Lineker. What did you think about Sandhagen in this fight? Where does his stock go from here? And really just kind of recap the fight.
Man, that fight was beautiful. You know, I talked him up. I think he trained with Trevor Whitman when he was young. He's at that Elevation fight team with Gaethje and now Blades and all those guys. So that Colorado group, they got a pretty close-knit group, and they all work together. But, man, he really put a whipping on the first couple guys in the UFC. He did have the Yuri Alcantara fight where he had gotten a real tough spot, so he showed really, really, really good coming back from adversity. He's been beat up a little. He stopped every other guy, and then he fights Lineker. I don't know what he's ranked. He's top 5, I think.
Oh, yeah.
He's a former... I don't know if he challenged for the title. I think he was one fight away, but nobody beats up John Lineker too bad. And this kid just... Man, it's just beautiful. Every time Lineker started getting a little bit of headway on him, that kid would just turn an angle. And if you want to watch how to move or how to get out of the way of some guy's punches or how to get off the ropes or the cage, you need to watch this fight. There is not enough good things I can say about the stand-up in this fight. Lineker did exactly what he needed to do. He went to the body instead of just the head. And he was doing what Lineker does, throwing gigantic hooks all day. And this kid he was just in and out. And when he did get hit, they just weren't as flush as Lineker's used to. Just one of the most beautiful performances ever. And he's young as hell, man. That division, if you look at it right now, the way he matches up with a lot of guys, I think a guy like Marlon Moraes would be a tough one for him. The Aljamain Sterling, but when I think of a guy like Cody Garbrandt, this kid I really think would match up really good with Garbrandt. Even Henry Cejudo being shorter, I think this guy would. He's got a big ceiling. I hope they don't bounce him anybody too big yet. I'd like to see him get one or two more mid-level guys first. But I mean, Lineker's top 5. None of those guys are calling out.
The only guys who have beat John Lineker in the last 5 years: T.J. Dillashaw, Cody Sandhagen.
That's crazy.
Corey Sandhagen. Yeah, that's crazy. So there's no telling, man.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going to go with him.
He could fight any of those top guys and win, but as young as he is, I would always rather him maybe get one or two more in there.
No, I agree with that. So next on the slate here, we have Mike Perry, all-timer, beats Alex Oliveira by decision. You had said before the fight, Alex Oliveira's biggest kryptonite in this fight was that he's going to go out there and try to put on more of a show than go out there to win. It was very, very apparent that that's what he did the entire fight. But what did you think about this fight? What does this do for Mike Perry? So kind of just give us a recap on that one.
Crazy fight the whole time.
Awesome fight.
Yeah, back and forth. You got... As far as Perry goes, that's a pretty big win for him. That is the best win he's had in the UFC at 70, which I think 70's doing. For some reason I thought he fought 55 for a minute, but that's Cowboy, Brazilian Cowboy. Big win for him, man. Brazilian Cowboy did try to take him down a few times, and Perry stuffed him. Looked real good there. Just one of those nuts fights. Just both dudes came out in that one fight of the night, I believe, so they both got paid an extra $50,000 for that. You know, Perry, he's not a dude I'd like to hang out with very much.
Oh, I would.
But as far as
he'd be
watching
funny
him fight,
as hell.
he's hilarious, and he got the biggest reception in the whole card. People are chanting Perry through the whole fight. He's definitely one of the most marketable guys in the UFC, and I think his record's 5-3, 5-4 or something. So, as far as technique wise goes,
he's Artem Lobov, dude.
He's got a winning record. So
okay,
he's the winning record Artem Lobov. I could do that.
Bruce Leroy.
No, come on. Bruce Leroy's vegan, grows his own garden. No, that's a bad comparison.
But you know what I'm saying by guys who have a 500 record that are going to be in the UFC forever.
As far as I forget what Cowboy's record is in the UFC, but that's a big win for him, man. That's a big win for him. He's back in Florida training. I think he said that whole Cowboy thing, he wanted to train at Winklejohn's gym and Greg Jackson, and just he felt like he got caught up in that and kind of got caught up in some personal stuff, and it didn't make him fight right, so he moved back down to Florida, training with Jacare and his team and stuff. Okay, so I heard this. I have to tell this story. So apparently he almost hung himself like a couple weeks before this fight.
Mike Perry did?
Yes. I guess ESPN was there filming something on him, and he, you know those rubber exercise bands?
Yes.
He just saw some, and he thought it would make a good neck workout. So he went to like a pull-up bar or something.
Wait, no, it was unintentional?
It was unintentional. He was doing a workout for like a promo video for ESPN, and he I don't know how he.
Tell me Ariel Helwani had to cut him down.
No, listen, dude, I'm telling you, it gets better. There was a female reporter. There was a female reporter doing it. He set it all up however he set it up. Put it around his neck.
Mike Perry does not need to think.
he put it around his neck, and something happened. I don't know if he was standing on something and it collapsed, or when he started going, it put him to sleep. It choked him out, almost instantly. So he's dangling there. The reporter lady thought he was joking. So he's just dangling there with this exercise band. He's basically being hung. You know who saved him?
Who?
Jacare.
Jacare
was working out on the other side of the room, seeing it, sprints over there, lifts him up, gets the thing off his neck. The lady just thought he was joking the whole time. And so he legitimately almost accidentally hung himself for the ESPN camera crew, because it was just something he made up. He just saw the bands and thought, I could make a good neck exercise out of this. Started fandangling it up. Strangles himself asleep. Jacare had to save him.
He doesn't need to think.
Imagine that 30 for 30.
Yes. What if I told you? Platinum Perry. Dude, that would have been the greatest 30 for 30 of all time.
I thought I was about to get a sob story, then...
No, it's a Mike Perry story.
I thought it was about to get super dark.
Guy's an idiot.
When I first heard the story, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, damn, Mike, because he told the story. He's like, yeah, I almost hung myself, and I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know life was that hard after that Cowboy loss. Nope, trying to set up a nice little neck exercise for himself. Strangles himself out.
Dude, how is that not a bigger story?
The UFC's probably don't tell anybody this, man. What is wrong with you?
I was hoping that it was going to be like Ariel Helwani came and saved his life, dude.
No, just Jacare.
Oh, man, that's good. Last fight, we will talk about Jacare here. He gets beat in a decision by Jack Hermanson, who I basically came out and said had no chance in this fight. Comes out and puts on... I wanted to say it. Performance of the year.
It's way up there, man.
Performance of the year.
It definitely. Nobody had that dude picked to win. He's 6-2 in the UFC, so he's had 2 losses. His biggest win to date was over David Branch just a couple weeks ago. So really, when I say nobody had that dude picked, and he came out. Jacare. I wonder if Jacare. He was loading up on his punches, just kind of walking forward. I wonder if it was, his last couple fights, he's had some pretty big KOs, big finishes. I wonder, it's that thing, if you fall in love with your striking power, you kind of get away from the combos and stuff. And he was walking forward. That dude stung him in the first round, dropped him, and then almost put in that choke that he loves, that kind of side guillotine. Almost had Jacare tapping in it, but I don't know if you know this about Jacare. He actually won, it may have been his first one of his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu title, his first world championship. He won with a broken arm. Roger Gracie broke his arm. He didn't tap. Once his arm broke, he was able to wiggle out of it, and then he stuffed his own fucking arm in his belt and went out for another minute and a half in the match or something. That's how he won it. So he would have had to put Jacare to sleep to get him out. Jacare gets out. Maybe he's still a little stunned. Second round, the same thing, man. That guy he's got a weird stand-up where he's kind of herky-jerky. It's almost like a weird mix of a like a stiff Dominic Cruz, because he's stiff looking, but he's in and out, and just Jacare had a hard time finding him. He didn't find him.
You know what it reminds me of, which I know we're comparing different sports here. Tyson Fury.
Yeah, that's a. I didn't put that together. That's a great comparison. When you look at Tyson Fury, the same thing. You're like, this dude's a good boxer.
Yeah, you're like, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and then he starts hitting some combos, and you're like, oh, okay. Man, I didn't even put those two together. That's a great comparison.
Yeah,
he's tall. He's long.
I really like him.
I really like him too. And in that division, I mean,
4 straight wins, man.
Yeah, you got Gastelum. Gastelum would be a good fight coming off that loss. I think he maybe called out Weidman. I don't really know what Weidman's doing. He's talked about how bad the weight cut's been. I think him and Rockhold are both planning on going up to 205. Jacare came on in it was the third round where I almost thought he might stop the guy. He started, instead of trying to hit the head, he went to the body, started hitting a bunch of liver shots. Hermanson kind of shelled up.
Little Mark, head body.
And then in the fourth, I almost think that guy took a round off, and Jacare stunned him a couple times, because then in the fourth and fifth, I mean, he ran away with it, man. He ran away with it with one of the best in the world, and nobody saw it coming. It wasn't a fluke. It was just a workman-like win, and he pulled out, dude. I liked him before. I'd seen a couple of his fights. I was like, oh, that guy's pretty good, but he's a Swedish fighter. We probably won't see him a ton in America. And then now, bam, comes off like 2 weeks' notice to be one of the best guys in the world. Pretty amazing, man. I love that comparison to Tyson Fury too.
Yeah,
I love that,
and that makes it all better to watch him fight. Cause dude. Okay, so just a little stat here. He landed 256 punches. Jacare threw 205.
So he landed 50 more than Jacare even threw.
Yep.
Yeah, that pretty much tells the fight.
Yeah.
I tell you, he kind of creeps me out a little, and that's because of I'm sure you've never read the books, maybe you've seen the movie. The girl with the dragon tattoo, the sweet.
Yeah, I've seen the movies.
Like the Swedish, those were like based in Sweden, and there's some weird, creepy stuff in them. So any person from Sweden creeps me out now, and the Joker is one of them.
That's hilarious.
Gus is too nice. Like he seems like a super nice guy, and his name's Gus, which makes me think of the little fat mouse off Cinderella. But Hermanson definitely creeps me out.
See, whenever I watched this fight, I ended up watching the replay of it, and I was mad at myself that I did not stay up for that fight. I was so mad.
It was a great fight.
Yeah.
I feel bad you went to bed too. You stopped on the worst, the only bad fight of the night.
The only bad fight.
Yeah.
I had to go to sleep after that one. That's how bad that fight was.
I don't know how you slept. I was pretty worked up. I was like, that's pathetic. Like, that just lost us one of our picks. We're freaking gonna end up 3-2. Like, this is horrible.
Whenever I saw that dude shoot a double leg, which that dude would be Dmitry Smolikov. Whenever I saw him shoot a double leg, I seriously said, I bet on this guy. I seriously said that out loud. I go, I bet on this guy. And my jaw was dropped until he was knocked out. I wish they didn't stop that fight.
No, don't say that.
They should have let it go.
Just kill him. Just let Greg Hardy kill him.
All right, so we'll go ahead and jump to the ESPN Plus 8 card. So we'll go ahead and start with the main event. Cowboy Cerrone, coming in 3-1 on his last 4 fights, comes in even odds. He is the underdog against Ragin Alaquenta. Alaquenta is a -130 favorite, coming off of his big win against Kevin Lee. Mr. Shackelford, who's going to win this fight?
This one's so tough to pick. I am going to pick Cerrone, and the reasons why, he just seems to have that fire under him again. You remember Cerrone's one of those guys, when he has a loss, he usually knocks off 5, 6, 7 wins after that. And he had 3 losses in a row. So I just think he's got something in right. He had the baby. He's training.
He said that's his new reason to fight.
And, he's a guy that he's had 2 title fights, and almost that fight, flight, or freeze. He's frozen 2 title fights. We're talking the dude with the most wins in UFC history. Will go down first ballot Hall of Famer. I just think that right there has motivated him outside anything else could do. You know, the technique wise, I really think that because he's fought with those bigger guys like Leon Edwards, those guys, and Darren Till, his clinch game, I think, has gotten stronger, which was really, really good before. But I really think he's going to win this in the clinch, as opposed to what you'd think it would be his distance, because he's going to be taller than Raging Al. And Raging Al, actually, he's got a pretty tiny reach. He's got shorter arms.
Yeah, he's got little dinosaur arms.
Yeah. So I think
if he had longer arms, he might have knocked out Khabib.
Oh yeah, for sure.
real.
For sure, yeah. I think Cerrone's going to win with the distance, but not long distance. I think he's going to win in the clinch on this one. Of course, his submission game's great, his striking's great, everything's great, but I really think this is going to get won in the clinch for him. Iaquinta, can't say enough good things about him. Tough as hell, really good ground game. He's a solid wrestler. You wouldn't think it, but he's a solid wrestler. Just beat Kevin Lee. You know, really, he's coming off. You know, his loss to Khabib really looks pretty amazing at this point, and it even did that night. So, very well-rounded dude. I'm only picking Cerrone just because I think I just think he's in that trance. When he gets in that trance, you know, that streak of fights, I think this is going to be his fight, man.
You know, I think Fletch needs to listen to this show more, because he laughs at guys who say when he's got that look in his eye.
Are you kidding me?
We picked a lot of fights and won because of a look in the eye.
Yeah, I mean, he's a basketball dude. Look how many... How could you ever, like, watch a Michael Jordan game and not think... There was never a game where you thought Michael Jordan was going to lose. Like,
he had the look in his eye.
Exactly. Or Magic Johnson, freaking Larry Bird. I can name like 10 basketball players right now that you just, when you see them going into the finals, you're like, that dude's not going to lose. Like,
exactly.
There's no way that guy's losing these finals. Kobe, those years, Shaq.
The look in his eye.
I don't understand why he would say that.
He hates the look in the eye.
Basketball's his thing.
Yeah.
I can name 20 dudes right now who won the finals or MVP in the finals. Just, you knew 1,000,000% that guy was not going to lose that game.
Just because of the look in the eye.
Crazy.
I agree.
Crazy.
So we'll go ahead and go to Derek Brunson. Is a slight underdog to Elias Theodorou. Brunson is minus 110, coming off of back-to-back losses. I mean, it's against Jacare and Adesanya, so wipe that slate clean. And Theodorou, minus 120 favorite. 3 straight wins, most notably one over Eric Anders. Mr. Shackelford, who's the pick?
You know, before we go any further, I wouldn't bet on any of these fights. Even
what about Cowboy?
Even the Cowboy, that might be one to, you know, throw $5-10 on type thing, but these fights aren't real bettable. They're all close. They're all kind of, I don't want to say lower level guys, but they're not top of the food chain guys. So Elias Theodorou, he's kind of got a weird bouncy, hippity hoppity karate style. He's a southpaw, I believe, and he looks tired. He reminds me of. You remember the saying Jim Brown had where he never like ran back to the huddle after he got tackled, because when he did get tired, he didn't want him to know he was tired, so he just walked back to the huddle every single play from beginning to end. That's kind of Theodorou. He'll start the first combo he throws to the fight, he looks like he's exhausted, but he wins a lot of his fights by decision. He never really slows down. It's like he's an aerobic fighter. He's fighting a 10-minute mile the entire time, where the other guy might come out fast and then start slow. I guess he's the pick. Brunson's has been on a slide. Theodorou, I don't know. I mean, Theodorou is probably the pick here, but I actually expect it to be a pretty lackluster fight.
Yeah, no, I'm not expecting much out of this one. So we'll go ahead. Cub Swanson actually opens as a pretty good sized dog here. Opens as a plus 145 dog to Shane Burgos, who's a minus 175 favorite. Comes in with an 11-1 record. Cub is coming off of 3 straight losses. Mr. Shackelford, who do we like?
I hate to pick against Cub. He's had a tough road. His chin hasn't really looked the same. This Burgos kid's a really, really exciting striker out of the New York area. He fights with that Tiger Schulman gym, which has Jimmy Rivera. I'm thinking for Louis Galdanov out there. I am going to pick Burgos. I hate to do that to Cub, but this kid's a very good striker. He's younger. I just got to think he's got more chin juice than Cub at this point.
Right. So we'll go ahead and go to Brad Katana, plus 140 underdog versus Maram. I'm going to butcher the last name.
Just call him Marab.
Maram.
His coach is Matt Serra, and that's what Matt Serra freaking calls him.
Maram.
Yeah, just Marab.
Minus 170 favorite. Mr. Shackelford, who's the pick?
I was going to pick Katona on this one. Katona's off the Ultimate Fighter. I believe he trains up with Faraz Zahabi, the GSP's camp up there. Very smart guy, but he's a good striker. He's a good grappler, and like GSP, he's very good at mixing both up. And if he's losing the striking, he'll go to wrestling. If he's losing the wrestling, he'll go to the striking. Very high fight IQ. Marab's a tough dude. Kind of throws heavy lever, just a little bit wild in his stand up. I think he's mostly a grappler though, so he kind of throws kind of crazy strikes to get to his grappling. But even though Katona's the underdog here, and this might be a little step up in competition from him, I'm still going to pick him.
All right. And finally, we will talk about Walt Harris opening as a minus 165 favorite to Shervy Spivak.
Yeah,
who is a
Sergey
plus
Spivak or something.
Sergey Spivak, who's a plus 135 dog. Don't tell me you're betting against Walt Harris.
Dude, so this guy, I tried finding fights of his
They don't exist.
They do. His last 2 wins, one was over Travis Fulton. You remember him?
Didn't he fight like 1 billion times?
Like 500 fights. Mm-hmm. So he has one of his last wins was over him.
Isn't he? Travis Fulton's the all-time winningest MMA fighter, right?
Like I seriously think he's got like 500 fights. I think he's like 280 and 110 or something.
That's awesome.
The Iron Man, Travis Fulton. That's an old school shout out right there. His last win was a fight over a guy named Tony Lopez. Guess how old Tony Lopez was?
40?
44. 44-year-old Tony Lopez.
So he's the geriatric ass kicker.
He's 9-0. So when I saw his record,
okay, wait a second. Travis Fulton is 254-54.
So he's got like a little over 300 MMA
319 fights. MMA fights.
Crazy.
And he's had boxing fights.
He's legit probably fought like 1,000 times in his life. Dude, the Sergey guy's 9-0. I don't know.
His professional boxing record is 19-32.
He needs to stay out of boxing. Stick with MMA. No, he actually retired a couple fights ago.
Who?
Travis Fulton.
No. He must have came out of retirement.
When
he fought April 4th.
Like just this last couple weeks?
April 4th, yeah. He retired, I guess,
Thomas,
in 2017, returned in 2018, and actually fought in Kokomo, Indiana.
No, that's the one. So Tave that trains at our gym.
Yeah, he fought again.
Interviewed. He fought on the same card as Tave, and it got like 1 million hits on the YouTube channel because remember that was the one where the guy was beating him up and then he stopped. And the ref didn't stop it and like made him beat him up some more, and the guy just quit. He's like, I'm not killing my idol. The guy actually has a tattoo of Travis Fulton's face on his leg. But Travis Fulton got a win.
Travis Fulton won.
Yeah, because the guy just walked out of the cage because the ref didn't stop it.
You know what's awesome?
What?
Travis Fulton's fought enough to have 10 draws.
You barely ever make it through your career.
And then he fought again on April 4th this year.
So, dude, he's going to fight till the day he dies.
Oh, yeah, he has to.
So, anyways, back to this. Walt Harris wins. This Sergey guy's 9-0. He's beating up geriatric guys, and he didn't look that good doing it. So, hard to imagine Walt Harris loses this dude.
So did Travis Fulton ever fight in the UFC?
Yeah. He was like highly touted. He was a Militich guy. He was a highly touted prospect, and he already had like 50 fights. He fought heavyweight, but he's only like 5'9" and weighed like 250. So
Travis Fulton's my favorite fighter in the world. All right. Let me give you this timeline real quick. So on December 29th, he had fought for Rock and Rumble. January 5th, he fought for Freestyle Combat. January 15th, he fought for Tuesday Night Fights.
He's fighting like every 10 days.
January 18th, he fought on Friday Night Fights. Dude, he fought on a Tuesday night fight, and then he fought on a Friday night fight, and then he fought a following Tuesday, January 24th, decided to take a 2-month hiatus. Fought March 2nd.
Time off, guys.
I'm going to take some time off.
That's usually that's half of what most people's camps are, the 2 months he took off, 8 weeks.
And then he fought for Iowa Challenge, March 2nd, then fought Sunday Night Fights on March 22nd, and then, here's the best one. He fought for American Reality Combat 3, April 18th.
Reality?
I
was like,
got
what?
so excited.
Realty? He's selling houses, too.
I thought Alaquainta's Fight Club. But he fought for American Reality Combat 3 on April 18th. Guess when he fought again? What? April 19th for Iowa Extreme Fighting 7.
That dude's legit. He's probably like a millionaire. He gets paid like $1,000 for each one of these fights. He makes it crazy, man.
Dude, he had another fight where he lost to Ben Rothwell via an injury of a submission on October 4th, and on October 5th he won a fight via KO. So he got injured in the Ben Rothwell fight, turned around the very next day and picked up a win.
Insane.
I like this guy.
Insane.
Oh yeah,
we
dude.
need to watch some fight. We still need to get over here early one night and just watch some rumbles.
We needed to watch Travis Fulton fight over and over and over. So real quick, from the last card, I forgot to ask biggest winners and losers. Biggest winner of the night.
It's got to be Hermanson.
Absolutely.
Got to be Hermanson.
Biggest loser.
What's the master of sport?
Dmitry Smolvikov.
When the boss says, "Hey man, it looks like that we fixed that fight," that pretty much means you're never fighting in the UFC again.
No, he should never fight anywhere again. Any little tidbits, news and notes before we wrap this thing up?
Yeah, I do. The Leighton kind of stole at Lesnar for whatever reason. He's retiring. My theory is probably
Steroids.
Well, he did get off of. You remember his last few appearances?
He looked wimpy.
He was wearing a T-shirt in a couple of them. Like, when have you ever known Brock Lesnar to have a T-shirt on? So I think that we've never seen him fight clean.
Duh.
He probably hasn't.
Big theory there.
Well, my theory is he thought he was going to be able to get off the stuff and still train and be okay to fight. And I think now we've gotten into it, he's probably just ain't feeling good, man.
Duh.
You look at Alistair Overeem when he got off his juice, when he was Ubereem, when he trashed Brock Lesnar, tested positive for like everything, and took like the 2 years off. When he came back and had to fight Antonio Silva, he got KO'd. His testosterone levels were like 0.1. Like, his nuts weren't working. So I imagine Lesnar actually thought he was going to be able to get off the stuff, come through, train, be fine, and now he's like, wait a second, like, my body's old and doesn't work anymore. That's my theory. It could be a million things. It could be anything. But yes, he retired, so now they're talking about Stipe Cormier too. So the other thing, Dana White posted a picture the other day with Eddie Hearn, who I don't know who he is. He's a big boxing promoter / manager. His most notable guy is Anthony Joshua.
Oh, wow.
AJ. So you never know. He's talked about having a Zuffa boxing and stuff, and he said after this summer he's going to dive in hard. But if he's getting linked up with Eddie Hearn, That's a big deal right there.
Wow.
So
That's pretty wild.
and the last thing I had was, you were actually right. So Ben Askren will be wrestling Jordan Burroughs as the headliner of the Beat the Streets, and it is on a Monday. It's next Monday.
Yeah, total
So
bummer.
kind of a goofy day to do it. I feel like if they did it on like a Friday or Saturday night, that'd be pretty.
Oh, a
good.
Saturday night would take a ton of people would watch that.
Yeah. The big problem for me, unfortunately, it's on Flow. It's on Flow Wrestling. So I boycott Flow because they're bastards.
Why?
Because they were a very, 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 very good media company when they started, and all their content was free. And I wouldn't be so mad at them. Basically, they went from a free content media company that was promoting the sport of wrestling to a basically pay out your ass for, and they not only that, but they've monopolized a lot of the big tournaments and stuff. They've monopolized a lot of that stuff that you can only get through their site. And really, unless you're like a wrestling coach or have a kid or something, there's another thing called track wrestling, which a lot of tournaments are ran through. Those two have both basically monopolized or biopolized, whatever it would be for two. Everything you want to watch is through there, except for the NCAAs and the Olympics. It's just a pain in the ass, man. And I wouldn't be mad at them if they just said, hey, we're in it for the money. We worked for free for a long time. We busted our ass. We're getting paid now. We're in it for the money. I'd be cool with that. But you know what they say? We're here for the sport of wrestling. We're here to promote wrestling. That's not promoting wrestling.
No.
That's not promoting wrestling.
Let's see how much Flow Wrestling costs.
Isn't it? How much is it?
I think it's like...
It's not. It's way cheap. It's way more expensive than like the UFC
I wanted
Fight
to
Pass
say like
ever was.
$24 a month.
To the base plan for $12.50 a month. I don't know what that gets you.
Probably not much.
No.
I'll go ahead and just.
I'm pretty sure it's almost like $30 a month.
I was thinking, and then they... another thing, I just saw a thing, a jiu-jitsu... I forget what company it was, but they went through Flow. Like, they signed up with Flow, because Flow does, like, Flow Combat.
$150 a year.
100, so 100... That's a lot of money for that stuff, man. The other thing that's a big problem, and I've heard this from friends... Their coverage is super spotty, always cutting
It's terrible,
in and out.
dude. It's basically like if I went and set up shop with a video camera, or like I just was like going live on Twitch on my phone.
Yeah. There's that, and I've had friends that have signed up for it, paid for it, and then canceled because the coverage was so crap. And then they kept charging them anyways. Like, it was like 6-month battle for them to get off. All that stuff wrapped up in the still, we're here promoting wrestling, we're doing good for the whole community. It's not. It's bottlenecked. It's bottlenecked between two companies. So I can't in good conscience get it.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
I'll try and illegally find it.
Yeah. Oh, you'll get an illegal stream. You'll get an illegal stream. So anything else before we wrap this bad boy up?
Nope, that's it.
All right, Dippers. And on that note, for Drake, Layton, and Mr. Shackelford, as always, stay saucy.